Today, we're diving deep into the timeline of the One Piece world, breaking down everything that has happened since day one of Luffy's journey. So, if you've ever wondered just how much time has passed in the One Piece world since Luffy set sail, this is the video for you. So, without further ado, let's set sail. Day 1 of the timeline, where the main story of One Piece truly begins, is on the day where Luffy has finally turned 17 years old, as he now can set sail from Fuchsia Village and embark on his journey to become the king of the pirates. After setting sail, Luffy faces his first obstacle, the giant Sea King, the same creature that Shanks saved him from years ago. This time, Luffy easily defeats it. On day 2, after escaping from his barrel, Luffy meets his first pirate foe and his first ally, the ruthless Alvida and the gentle Koby. Luffy defeats Alvida with one punch and together with Koby escapes from Alvida's pirate ship. Luffy and Koby arrive at Shell's Town on day 3, where they encounter Roronoa Zoro, the infamous pirate hunter. Zoro, tied to a post, is sentenced to death by the corrupt Marine Captain Morgan. After Luffy frees Zoro and defeats Morgan, Zoro officially joins Luffy's crew as his first crewmate, marking the beginning of the Straw Hat Pirates. Before setting sail with his crew member, they say goodbye to Koby, who is following his dream of becoming a Marine. Day 4 is a bit of a breather as Luffy and Zoro sails towards Orangetown, unaware of the chaos waiting for them, and we are lucky they didn't get lost. Day 5 is action-packed, as when Luffy and Zoro reach Orangetown, they face Buggy the Clown. The duo team up with a thief named Nami, who initially wants nothing to do with pirates but is skilled in navigation. After defeating Buggy, Nami temporarily joins the crew. On day 6, the crew makes a pit stop and meets Gaimon, a quirky but lovable character who gives us a glimpse of the world's many mysteries. The crew arrive at Syrup Village on day 7, where they meet and recruit Usopp, the village's liar and a brave sharpshooter. Together, they defeat the villainous Kuro, saving Kaya and the village. After this, the crew get their first proper ship, the Going Merry, and they set sail on day 8. After traveling a whole day, they reach the floating restaurant Baratie on day 10. Here, they meet Sanji, the chef who joins the crew after a battle with the fearsome Don Krieg. This is also where Luffy first encounters Dracule Mihawk, one of the 7 warlords of the sea, who defeats Zoro in a one-sided battle, and Zoro vows to become stronger. On day 11, after Nami stole the Going Merry and went back to Arlong Park, the crew decided to get both the ship and their friend back. After a hard-fought battle between Luffy and the villainous fishman Arlong, Luffy came out victorious, freeing Nami from her years of slavery. Now Nami officially joins the crew and becomes the Straw Hat's navigator. After traveling for 2 whole days, the crew finally reached the famous Loguetown on day 14, 2 weeks after Luffy set sail, which was both the birthplace and the execution site of former Pirate King Gold D. Roger, and the last town before entering the Grand Line. Here, Luffy narrowly avoids being executed by Buggy and being captured by Smoker, a Marine captain who becomes one of Luffy's early antagonists, as his father Dragon came to the rescue. But a lot more happened on day 14, as on the same day the crew finally entered the Grand Line, a dangerous sea where the greatest pirates roam. Here they met Crocus, the old doctor from the Roger Pirates, and Laboon, a giant whale who became friends with Luffy and the crew. After Crocus helped the Straw Hats understand the importance of log poses and the dangers of the Grand Line, they continued their journey with 2 more members on board the ship, and one of them was Miss Wednesday. Reaching the night of day 14, the crew's first stop on the Grand Line is the island of Whiskey Peak, where they are welcomed by pirates who are secretly Baroque Works agents and ambush the Straw Hats. However, Zoro easily defeats them, but Luffy, misunderstanding the situation, fights Zoro briefly before realizing the truth. We also find out that Miss Wednesday has been working undercover as a Baroque work agent, and her true identity turns out to be the Princess of Alabasta, Nefertari Vivi. Luffy and the crew decide to help her stop the criminal leader, Crocodile, and liberate Alabasta. The crew also quickly meet Miss Sunday from the Baroque Works. After a very hectic 14th day, the crew reach Little Garden on day 15, where they meet 2 giant warriors from the legendary Elbaf, Dory and Brogy, and confront more Baroque Works agents, including Mr. 3. Luffy manages to defeat the Baroque Works agents, and the crew leave the island with a bit of help from the giant warriors. On day 18, after traveling for 2 days straight, the crew arrives at Drum Island, where they are looking for a doctor to help Nami, who became sick. After Luffy gave his all to climb up Drum Mountain with Nami and Sanji, they finally meet a doctor who helps Nami get better. Here the crew also meet Tony Chopper, a reindeer doctor, and after defeating Wapol, Chopper joins the crew as their doctor and follows his dream. After leaving Drum Island, the crew set their sights on Alabasta, and after traveling for 6 days, they meet Mr. 2 on day 25. Bon Clay impersonates the Straw Hats, and after being punched by Nami, he bids farewell to the Straw Hats, and they continue their journey on sea. The crew is then traveling for 18 days straight until they finally reach Alabasta on day 45. Here they help Princess Vivi fight against the Baroque Works leader Crocodile. After being defeated twice by Crocodile, and almost dying if it wasn't for Miss Sunday saving his life, Luffy finally defeats Crocodile after a lengthy third battle. After Alabasta Kingdom is saved, Vivi chooses to stay in Alabasta to help her people in a heartfelt goodbye. But the crew leaves with a new member, Nico Robin, formerly an enemy, now the Straw Hats archaeologist. On day 48, the crew leave Alabasta after having spent 3 days in the kingdom, and on the same day, they reach Jaya. Here they first hear about the legendary Sky Island, Skypiea, and after meeting Bellamy, who Luffy knocked out in one hit after Bellamy attacked Cricket, and meeting the infamous Blackbeard, they head to Skypiea using the Knock-Up Stream on day 49. On Skypiea, they fight against the tyrannical god Enel, who rules the island with his overwhelming lightning-based devil fruit powers. Luffy eventually defeats Enel in a climactic battle, preventing him from destroying Skypiea and uncovering part of the mysterious poneglyphs, the ancient stones that hold secrets about the world's history. On day 51, after spending 3 days at Skypiea, the crew reach the strange island Long Ring Long Land. Here they are challenged by the Foxy Pirates to a Davy-back fight, a series of ridiculous games where the winning team can take crew members from the losing team. After several games, Luffy defeats the Foxy Pirates' captain, Foxy, in a final duel. On the same day, they also meet Admiral Aokiji, who demonstrates the immense power of the Marines, and they narrowly escape with their life intact. After fighting Aokiji, the crew rested for 2 days straight, and on day 54 they finally left Long Ring Long Land. On day 55, the crew is heading to Water 7, and on day 56 they finally reach the capital of Water, a city known for its shipwrights, to repair the Going Merry. However, tensions rise when the crew discovers the Going Merry is beyond repair, leading to a clash between Luffy and Usopp, where Usopp leaves the crew. Nico Robin also leaves the crew to turn herself in. They then face off against CP9, a secret government organization, and Luffy and the crew also meet Franky, a cyborg shipwright who was an antagonist of the arc. On day 58, the crew storm the government stronghold, Enies Lobby, to rescue their crewmate Nico Robin. After declaring war against the world government, the crew battles the powerful CP9 agents, each displaying new abilities, including the use of Gear 2nd and Gear 3rd by Luffy. And in the end, Luffy and the crew successfully defeats Rob Lucci and the CP9, and Robin is saved, narrowly escaping after the Going Merry came to the rescue. On day 59, after their victory at Enies Lobby, the crew returns to Water 7, and Franky offers to build the Straw Hats' new ship. So on this day, Franky starts to build the Thousand Sunny, and Luffy and the others also meet Luffy's grandfather, Vice Admiral Garp, who reveals that Luffy's father is the Revolutionary Army leader Monkey D. Dragon, and Koby makes a return, showing significant growth. On day 64, after building the Sunny for 5 days, the Straw Hats' new ship is finally completed, and Franky officially becomes the crew's shipwright. Usopp also rejoins the crew after apologizing to Luffy. On day 65, the crew enter the mysterious fog-covered ship island Thriller Bark, ruled by the warlord Gecko Moria, and together with Brook, they encounter zombies, shadows, and powerful foes. Luffy eventually defeats Moria, and by the end, Brook joins the crew after they narrowly escape Bartholomew Kuma, another warlord who is sent to capture Luffy, as Zoro shows his loyalty to his captain. On day 69, they finally leave Thriller Bark after spending 5 days at the giant ship. The crew is then traveling for 2 days until they reach Sabaody Archipelago on day 73. Here, they aim to find a coding mechanic to prepare their ship for traveling underwater to Fishman Island and go to the New World. But the crew clash with the tyrannical celestial dragons, leading to Luffy punching one and sparking a confrontation with the Marines. Admiral Kizaru then arrives at the island together with the Pacifistas, and Luffy and the crew are completely overwhelmed by Bartholomew Kuma, who teleports each crew member to different locations around the world. They also met the old vice captain of the Roger Pirates, the Dark King, Silvers Rayleigh. On day 74, Luffy ends up on Amazon Lily, an island inhabited by the all-female Kuja tribe, where men are forbidden. He meets Boa Hancock, the island's ruler and a warlord of the sea. Initially hostile, Hancock eventually falls in love with him, and after Luffy learns about Ace's impending execution, with Hancock's assistance, he sets out to infiltrate Impel Down to save his brother. Luffy, hiding on board a marine ship, travels with Boa Hancock to Impel Down from day 76 to 81. After Hancock helps Luffy inside the notorious underwater prison on day 81 to rescue his brother Ace, Luffy encounters various powerful prisoners, including former allies and enemies like Bon Clay, Buggy, and Crocodile. Luffy, almost dying from the prison's warden Magellan's poison, gets saved by Bon Clay and the army commander Ivankov from the Revolutionary Army. After recovering, Luffy learns that Ace has been moved to Marineford for execution, so he teams up with powerful allies like Jinbe the Warlord to break out of the prison to save his brother. On day 82, Luffy and his allies reach Marineford, the Marine headquarters, to save Ace. Luffy, alongside the Whitebeard pirates, battles epically with powerful figures, including Admiral Akainu and Whitebeard himself. Despite Luffy's efforts to rescue Ace, he tragically dies in Luffy's arms, and Luffy narrowly escapes death himself as Jinbe and Trafalgar Law saves his life. The war ends with Whitebeard's death as well. Luffy, being severely injured, has been transferred to Amazon Lily, and is in a coma for 11 days after the battle at Marineford, and on day 94, Luffy finally wakes up. Luffy is absolutely devastated, but after Jinbe talks to him and tells him that his crew needs him, he finally stops rampaging. Rayleigh arrives at Amazon Lily and offers to train Luffy, and Luffy realizes that he and his crew needs to get much stronger, so he accepts to train under Rayleigh. On day 95, Luffy, together with Jinbe and Rayleigh, travel to Marineford again to send the Straw Hats a message that they should meet on Sabaody again in 2 years. They travel for 6 days, and on day 101, they finally arrive at Marineford. After a quick stop, he travels for 7 days and arrives at Rusukaina on day 108, the island with deadly wildlife where he will be training for 2 years with Rayleigh. The day after, on day 109, Luffy's training starts. We will now reset the timeline to day 1 of the post-time skip timeline. But don't worry, we will give you the exact amount of days that have gone by at the end of the video as well. So on day 1, the Straw Hats finally reunite at Sabaody Archipelago. Each member has gotten way stronger, and after a brief run-in with the Marines and a fake Straw Hat crew, they set sail for Fishman Island and the New World. Still on day 1 of the post-time skip timeline, the Straw Hats now reach Fishman Island, the underwater city inhabited by fishmen and mermaids. Luffy and the crew confront the new Fishman pirates, led by Hody Jones, who aim to overthrow King Neptune and capture the Princess Shirahoshi. After a fierce battle with Hody and a heartfelt reunion with Jinbe, Luffy and the crew saved Fishman Island and its people. The crew set sail with Jinbe's promise that he will join them in the future. On day 3, after having spent 2 days in total on Fishman Island, the crew reached the fire and ice island of Punk Hazard. Luffy and the crew, along with Trafalgar Law, who is now a warlord, make an alliance to take down the Yonko Kaido. But first, they have to take down the villainous scientist Caesar Clown, who is conducting dangerous experiments and creating artificial devil fruits. After Luffy defeats Caesar, the crew, together with Law, set their sights on Dressrosa. And on day 4, they reach the island of Dressrosa, which is controlled by the warlord Don Quixote do Flamingo, who has a stranglehold on the island's people through manipulation and his powerful devil fruit abilities. After intense battles in the Colosseum, the rise of the dwarves, and a rebellion led by the former king, Riku Doldo III. The climax is Luffy's fight against Doflamingo, resulting in the liberation of Dressrosa and Luffy's growing reputation as a major threat to the world government. On day 6, 2 days after arriving at Dressrosa, Luffy and the crew are chased out of Dressrosa together with the Straw Hats' Grand Fleet. On day 15, after spending a whole week out on sea, they finally reach the giant elephant who is carrying the island zoo on its back. There they reunite with their crewmates and meet the Mink Tribe, a group of powerful animal-human hybrids. Here they find a road poneglyph, which is crucial for finding the One Piece, and Luffy, together with some of the Straw Hats, set out to bring Sanji back to the crew. On day 23, after traveling for 6 days straight, they finally reach Whole Cake Island. Here, Luffy and the Straw Hat Pirates attempt to rescue Sanji from an arranged marriage to Charlotte Pudding, orchestrated by Big Mom and his father, Vinsmoke Judge. Luffy battles Big Mom's powerful forces, including an epic battle with her son Katakuri. After Luffy defeats Katakuri and Big Mom finally gets her wedding cake to ease her hunger pangs, the Straw Hats manage to narrowly escape as Jinbe and the Fishman pirates, together with Germa 66, stay behind to let the Straw Hats escape. After leaving Whole Cake Island on day 28, the crew travel for 13 days, and on day 42, they finally reach Wano Country, and the Straw Hats spend 20 days on Wano and Onigashima together. Here, the Straw Hat pirates, along with their allies, aim to liberate the isolated nation of Wano from the tyrannical rule of the Emperor Kaido and Shogun Orochi. With intense battles and the revelation of major mysteries like Oden's journey with Roger, the stage is set for an all-out war. The Straw Hats, together with the samurai and Law and Kids pirates, launch a raid on Kaido's stronghold on Onigashima. The battle is intense, featuring confrontations with the Beast Pirates, Big Mom, and the Toby Rappo. Luffy faces Kaido in an epic showdown and debuts his Gear 5, marking one of the most iconic moments in One Piece, as Luffy unleashes this godly, joy-filled power to overcome the Yonko. On day 63, after liberating Wano, the crew's journey continued and they set sail once again. After sailing for 4 days, they reach Egghead Island on day 68, the home of Vegapunk, the world's most brilliant scientist. As Luffy and the crew explore the island, they discover Vegapunk's many forms and meet Jewelry Bonnie. Meanwhile, CP0 agents, including Rob Lucci, arrive with orders to eliminate Vegapunk. And we also meet the Seraphims, leading to intense battles. The Admiral Kizaru and the 5 Elders also arrive at Egghead Island, where the crew, together with their allies, fight hard and bravely against these very powerful foes. After one very hectic day at Egghead Island, they leave the island on day 69 and set their sights on the Island of Giants, the legendary Elbaf. And on day 70, after partying hard, the crew seem to have reached Elbaf. And there you have it, the entire timeline in One Piece, and we are patiently waiting for the Elbaf arc to get going, as we don't know how long they are going to be on this legendary Island of Giants. So, to sum up the timeline and days. First, the crew spent 109 days together, pre-time skip. Then, they of course spent 2 years apart and training to become stronger. After the 2-year time skip, they have now spent 70 days in total post-time skip. So since Luffy left Fuchsia Village and set out on his journey to become king of the pirates, he has been out at sea for 179 days. Will the Elbaf arc be the best ever arc in One Piece? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more One Piece content. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.